Hi, my magical creatures, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is I am going to talk about my experiences with my experience with God. I know, like in the last video, we talked about like angels and stuff like that. Well, God definitely does exist. I've talked to him. I've even um, I want to say like I've seen him clairvoyantly and stuff. So definitely, before we begin, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, a like, and don't forget to subscribe. It's a free way to help your girl out. So let's get started. All right. So my experiences with God, I want to say like growing up and stuff, I definitely did go through a lot of crazy stuff, and I always believed in God, but I just didn't know how like He works or anything like that. And I know all we have is like kind of the Bible to go off of that. But now that I'm psychic and I can hear entities talk to me, and you know God, I was able to actually have conversations with Him and talk to Him and stuff. So I want to say like my first actual like real encounter that God is real. I think this was kind of like, was I talking to angels? But yeah, I think I was talking to angels back then. I remember like I would always like hear and see like talk to him and stuff, but like I never really like knew like I wanted to see something like physical because I've seen the archangels, Archangel Michael, and my guardian angel and stuff, like they've always shown themselves to me. But I was like, why hasn't God shown himself to me? And I even asked Archangel Michael, I was like, is God real? And he says yes. I was like, I work for him. So I was like, okay. So at the time I remember, I think I was like young. I was like 20, 21. I think I was like in between 20 and 21. I was working in the field and I was harvesting, I was picking tomato, or no, not tomato, it was watermelon. I was picking watermelon off of vines and stuff, y'all. That job was crazy and it was hot. It was probably like 98 degrees, 100 degrees outside. It was hot. Like I felt like I was going to DIE. Like it was so hot. And I was picking buds off a watermelon vine. It was just crazy. So I remember praying to God and I asked God, I was like, please, can you make it rain? And here in California in the summertime, it does not rain at all. It only rains a little bit like in the wintertime, but that's about it. But in the summertime, it's just, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was blue. The sky was blue and there was no clouds or anything. But I remember just picking these buds off the watermelon vine, and I asked God, I said, I said it to myself, I was like, God, can you please make it rain? Just please, like, so I can just get through the day. So, next thing I know, like, we go on break, and so I'm standing by my car, and, me and my boyfriend, like, he's my ex boyfriend now, but at the time, my boyfriend at the time, we were, I think we was getting our food and stuff out the trunk of my car, and, we was eating and drinking and stuff. And the next thing I know, it starts raining, you guys. Like it starts raining. It wasn't like pouring rain, but it drizzled and there was rain coming from the sky. And I'm looking up at the sky like, is this really happening? And there was not a cloud in the sky, you guys. And all of a sudden all this rain just started coming down. So I was like, oh my God. So I ended up telling my boyfriend about it. Like, I just prayed to God right now and asked if, for him to please make it rain. And so then he's like telling everyone, like, yo, she just prayed, and it's just raining. And I was like, yeah, like, isn't this crazy? So, of course, a lot of them, they spoke Spanish. So they were like, oh, like, Dios, mujer, Dios, or whatever, like, woman of God or God woman or something. I don't know. So, that was definitely like an encounter that I had with God, and that was just crazy. And ever since then, I was like, "Hey, you can't tell me nothing." I was like, "God is real. He is 100% real. Everything like that." I think in the Bible, though, like my personal belief, I don't think God is a very, in the Bible, kind of like talk, kind of. I feel like it kind of, my opinion, it kind of seems like God is very judgmental, or like God doesn't like people that are LGBT or whatever. Um, I did have a conversation with God, and God says like I love everyone and everybody, and He just says as long as you treat everybody, respectfully and kind and stuff and love, then like yeah, but stuff like that. So I even asked God too. I was like, I asked him, I said, if you get into a relationship with somebody, like let's say you move in with your boyfriend, or whatever, should they sleep in like separate beds or in the same bed? And he said sleep in the same bed. And I was like, oh, okay. I thought like you had to be married and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember what he said, but he said no and yes. Like he said, like if you're in a relationship with them, then like just sleep, in the same bed and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay, stuff like that. So some things were definitely kind of like written, and then some things kind of like, you know, I want to say like some things were kind of like written, and then some things was kind of taken in and taken out, because the book was written by humans, not God himself. So, you know, okay. And so, also too, like God also wanted me to kind of like give out a message, like Archangel Michael kind of came in and wanted me to give a message, was that God loves everyone and that God is always with everyone. And, he's always with everyone, helping them do their stuff. And God likes it when you being yourself and being you. So that's the message that I got and saw. And don't ever give up. So yeah. Um, so also too, like I've had my own lately, for me, I've been seeing a lot of like near death experiences, cases and stuff of like people passing away and like going to heaven and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, like this is, interesting, like this is cool, stuff like that. So I was just like, oh, this is like really cool. This is interesting. Like, okay. So basically what I got was a lot of these people passed away, and then like they all said the same thing, was like, oh, I felt this loving, benevolent peace. These beings, like I just felt nothing but pure love, like all this hate and pain and everything went away. And a lot of them like was saying all of that, which was like really crazy to me. And so um for me, I didn't have a near death experience, but I had an astral projection, like a meditation that was just like a near death experience, where I basically visited my home. Like I was really, that day I was super depressed. I was really sad. And also too, with the people that went and had their near death experiences, a lot of them said that they met God, and God like did not judge them. God like really loved them and everything like that. So when I had I want to say like my astral projection, like my NDE, like astral projection thing, um, I went and visited like my home, like where I'm from and stuff, and it was very tropical. Everything was alive, like the plants, like you could communicate with everything that was living there, the plants, trees, the animals, the beings. I saw like fairies there. I saw these humanoid beings. I don't know what they were, but they had pointy ears and they were tan. And I only saw one of them. There was a whole village of them, but I only saw one of them in detail, and the rest they were kind of blurred out. I couldn't really see them, and I felt this immense love from them and from everything, the planet, or the planet, that place where I'm from. It was just everything was alive. It was so beautiful. Like the sky too, it was sunset, and there was aurora lights in the sky on a tropical island, and then there was a volcano, and the volcano was alive too. But it was these pretty vibrant colors like green, yellow, pink, orange, blue was coming out of the volcano, and it was just really crazy. It was very paradise. And then I saw the ocean. It was really pretty. And it was just so beautiful. And um when I went into that meditation and astral traveled and went, I remember I was so sad and depressed, and I was just feeling like I don't want to be here anymore. Like I was so sad. But when I went in there, did that meditation, I went in there, my sadness, everything went away, you know? And when I came back from that meditation, I went back into my body, like I astral projected, I went back into my body. Um, I felt so happy, and I felt like, oh my God, like I do not want to hurt myself. Like I'm happy, and it was so crazy how I was just cured just like that. And when I watched other people's near death experiences and stuff, they said the same exact thing that I experienced. Was like they said that, you know, they felt like the everything was a lie. They could communicate with everything, and they felt this immense love, you know, which was crazy because I didn't even know those people at all. Maybe I did. Like once I passed away, I probably, because I heard when we reincarnate and stuff, like we lose our memories and stuff. So yeah, it was definitely crazy. It was cool. So that's why I truly believe that, like, when we pass on and stuff, there's definitely life after death, and that there's life after this. So that was kind of like my experience with God and stuff. So I don't know if your experience was like that too, or you know what, I'd definitely love to hear about it. So if you like this video, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, a like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay magical. Mwah.